fired up. So, over the weekend, we got some big news coming in. We got a little sports for you. Andrew Wiggins, plays for the Golden State Warriors. He's been absent from the team for about a month, and no one really knew why. They kept saying it's for personal reasons, but there's a rumor going out that his best friend cheated with his wife, and the kids may not be his. The Maury show, You Are Not the Father. He has been raising kids that are not his. I really just want to get, initial thoughts from you guys. Sterling, I'll let you roll it off first.
Well, excuse me. I mean, first things first, obviously I feel bad for the guy, even if that is true. Because I mean, there's no condoning cheating in any regard whatsoever, right? Um, especially if you got kids with them, you know what I'm saying? I think that's just like absurd. But I can understand like for her how easy it may have been if that were the case. Like this is all completely hypothetical. Um, and like I completely understand how easy it was for her to like get away with doing something like that. Um, so I mean he's on the road for 41 games out of the year, not including the playoffs, and they're playing back-to-back days. They're I mean all the time. And granted, like who knows what their dynamic is in their relationship and what maybe it's a bit different. But on my end of things, like I mean, when you're young, and I guess if you're not in a full relationship and you ain't got kids, like the cheating can almost not be forgiven, but it's just kind of like okay, like they did that, keep moving, like you guys break apart, whatever. But then it's like you got children, bro. You got freaking children, and it's like yeah, and it's his best friend. Like that ain't my boy. I tell you that right now. That's not my boy. He is not good, and he's gonna catch the meanest looks. He ain't never gonna be able to walk into the Warriors arena ever again, type shit. So, I mean, I don't really have like a ton of thoughts about it, but I just like I mean, it's obviously wrong on her behalf. I think it's just really like you're living the dream that not every little girl, but every woman on the planet wants to be able to do is basically have children with a very successful basketball player or athlete and never have to worry about a damn thing for the rest of their life. She literally won the lottery. She got the meal ticket. It's done and dusted. But I mean, everybody has different motives. Everybody has things that make them happy, a bit different. Some people are a little fucked up, and that might be the case with her. And I'm not trying to say she did or didn't do it, but until those things are confirmed, but definitely not the sweetest thing to hear about it. And let me finish my point with the Warriors are going to need Andrew Wiggins to even contend for a championship this year. For those that are sports fans watching, they are going to need him. He needs to get off his ass and get the fuck back on the court. Be like, fuck you, bitch. Keep it moving. Because that's all he can do. There's nothing else. He gets paid to play basketball. It's not as bad as what's his name, Ben Simmons. But bro, like your team is like about to be in the playing game. Like, bro, get off the bit. Like, get here, play. We need you. We can't win a road game. But that's my thoughts on that. I want the Warriors to do really well. I want them to compete for a championship as well. So I'm a bit biased, but I get it. He's got to be able to make sure his mental's right, and mental health is important, especially particularly in black men where it's not talked about a lot. But like, bro, you've been out for like a month and a half. Like, you got over your little ankle injury or whatever it was. Like, you need to get your ass back on the saddle. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, I mean, a few things kind of come to mind when I first heard this topic, and like you reiterated, it's really just kind of fucked up and just a messed up situation in general that Andrew Wiggins has to go through this, and I really feel for him, and I can understand how he's just probably like, I mean, I can't understand, like I don't know what that feels like. That's wild, and um, one of the questions that come to mind to me too is, you think that the wife knew that the kids wasn't his, like do they always know that when that happens? I guess if they have I mean, I feel like you should be able to know when you look at the kid too. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen any pictures of Andrew Wiggins' kids, so I can't tell if they like look alike or nothing like that of that nature.
Yeah,
But for the friend, man, like that's just a low blow. And that's just like you said, that ain't no real boy. That's it's really messed up.
that's not my boy, bro.
Nah,
That's it.
nah,
That is not my boy.
nah. But I mean like if you already at the same time, if you already did the deed and his boy is probably just a regular dude out there. You know, he ain't Andrew Wiggins. If you already did the deed and the kids are there, like, do
Exactly.
you tell your boy or do you let your kids? Do you let the kids have the best life that they possibly could have because they are, you know, essentially set for life, living with Andrew Wiggins. So I mean, also kind of have to, as messed up it is, kind of have to feel for him too because one, we don't know if he knows that those are his kids, and if he does know, then you know he probably took the decision to take a back seat and just let the kids have the better life because he knows that he could never give them those type of opportunities, which is also just a
Yep.
messed up situation for his mental on that front too. Um, but I also agree with you, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a month, and he's about to get a couple months off. And if he doesn't come back to the playoffs, it's like, look, man, that is a messed up situation. We feel for you. Take a week, take 2 weeks, bro. But rest of the year, rest of the month, and is he still getting paid? That ain't real life. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out here, yo, if
Yeah.
someone cheated with my hypothetical girl and I told my boss, hey, man, she might give me a day and then get back out there. But how am I just going to have, like, yeah, let me just take off the rest of the quarter and just chill off of that one real quick because, you know, my mental's real messed up. They would tell me, you
You'd be
know,
laid the hell off.
I laid the hell off. They'll give me some mental health classes. Yo, here's this counseling. We'll pay for like a little $10 a month counseling, online counseling type pool or something. I don't know, but he's got to get back out there. You know, it's crunch time. Like you said, they can. If Andrew Wiggins comes back up, they can compete for a championship. I get it. It's hard, bro, but you only got a couple months left, and you got a whole off season to figure out if those kids are yours and figure out how you want to proceed with that. So, I mean, Chad, do you have any? What's your initial thoughts on that?
I don't really know basketball that well, but the situation is pretty messed up. This whole time I was just thinking like, yo, what if his boy was a guy in the Warriors and that's why he's been gone this whole time? Oh, that would
Oh
suck.
my
That would
Uh,
suck.
that would suck.
But yeah, it's weird. Like you think that with kids you could tell when it's like when it's yours or when it's not yours. But back during Christmas, my girlfriend and I posted a picture of us with her nephew. Everyone thought that kid was mine. I was like, this kid does not look mixed at all. It looks full blown Asian. Like, why does everyone think it's mine? So there's that like suspension of disbelief. And I don't know how old his kids are, but maybe uh their looks caught up to him and that's what started making him doubt. Maybe they got in a fight or something. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement that like the month is a long time to be gone
That's a
from
long time.
work. Like I could see maybe like if he was filing for divorce, how that could get pretty sticky. But even then it's a lot of just like fill out the paperwork and then wait. So
Well, here's the question for you guys. You know, he's loved these kids. He's taken care of these kids. He's always thought of them as his own. So
Yeah.
to figure out that they're no longer his kids, you know, I can imagine that it's not like the love just disappears instantly. Like that's got to be a sticky situation.
Yeah.
If you're in that situation, what are you guys doing? Are you still claiming those as your kids, or how are you even going about that situation?
I actually saw a crazy story on something similar
Really?
where this dude was raising some other dude's kids and the wife like left him and went with the other dude
Hmm.
and then wanted the kids and he was just like, "No, I'm the father. They're my kids." And like I don't it's state by state basis, but a lot of states say like whoever is the person in the life and like raised them is considered the father. They don't go by blood.
I know that if you're a lot of states too, if you're the father on the birth certificate, regardless of who the biological dad is, you have to pay the child support. Like you're legally obligated.
Oh,
Even
well,
if you find out that that's no longer your kids, like you would have to get that legally removed off their birth certificate
that's
to not
crazy.
file to not have the child support.
And this story, it worked out where when the lady left, he kept the kids that weren't his, and he got child support for them.
Oh, what a boss! That's a boss. What are you
Hey,
doing,
you got the
Sterling?
bag. I mean, honestly, bro, like I'm gonna tell you right now, if I like married to the girl or like I got kids with a girl, whatever it is, and I'm like a high profile athlete, like someone like Andrew Wiggins, not high profile, but like mid profile guy that's important to the success of a team. Bro, first off, like she's getting cut off. Like And for me, just period, like, you're not gonna see the kids, or like, I will make sure that you don't see the children, and you're gonna have like one visit a month type shit. And like, for all the ladies out there, it's gonna be like, oh, that's so messed up. Like, I'm being 100%. Like, it's your fault. Like, it's your fault. It ain't nobody else's fault but yours. Secondly, if they weren't my kids, technically, like biologically, but I've been providing for them since the day they were born, as if they were. Once again, it goes back to the point. It's like, dude, that's a father. Like, there's probably people you guys know in your life where, they didn't have like the greatest home life or anything like that, and like they're like, this guy was like one of these coaches was basically like my dad, and like blah blah blah, that type of stuff. Not even like that metaphorical stuff where it's like, oh, like how we talk about Miss Nikki's like a second mom type of thing. Like, these people were like basically like, hey, I needed to eat. They got me food. Like, they got me this, and this to make sure I was cool. So first things first, I'm getting that woman away from those kids. She ain't gonna touch them. She ain't gonna have a chance to really even explain herself until they're 18 years old. Secondly, I'm gonna make sure that I continue to care for the kids because they know me as their dad, right? Like, I mean, that's what they know. And then when they come 18, whenever they get old enough to realize, like, okay, like, I would tell them, and they just have to live with it. But they're not children.
So you're
and
not telling
people
them from
are
the
different.
jump?
No, if they're not
I
old,
don't
if
think
they're
from the
like
jump
5
they
years,
could understand that though, depending on how old they are.
I
no,
would.
they're. I don't think they'd have the emotional capacity and the mental capacity to actually fathom it. Because think about it, when you're like 5 years old, you don't even know what cheating is. Let's just be
Yeah,
honest.
but you
don't
don't
even
have to
know
get
what
into
cheating
the
is.
works. I mean, I'm someone who believes that, you should paint your significant other in the best light possible to
Unless
your
they do
kids
this.
because unless the kid unless they have negative tension between the kids, I feel like you should paint that person in the best light possible because it's really important for the kids to have that strong relationship with both parents. So for me, if I'm in that situation, obviously I'm not staying with the girl, like we're splitting up, but I do think it is still important that, they get the love from the mom just as much as they get the love from me. And because, they're gonna be my kids. And the one person that I would make sure is not around those kids is the biological father. I'd be like, look, or
Yep.
or he's in there for a limited capacity. And I understand y'all both say like, the kids can't really understand that, but I feel like kids have a little more mental strength and aptitude than, we give them credit for. And we don't have to get into the works like, you don't have to go over there. Oh, mom was, getting her back broken by Uncle Mike type shit. You ain't gotta say none of that. You can just be like, look, man, you can sit him down. I just want to let you know that, this man over here, he's your biological dad, but I am your father. Like, I will always be your father. I'll always
Luke,
take
I'm your
care of you.
father.
Luke, I am your father for sure. I'm always going to take care of you type stuff. And, this guy's going to be in your life. I think it's important that you do know and have a relationship with your biological father, but
Fuck that.
you're staying with me. And your wife, like, she's gonna be somewhere else. We're just doing a different thing, but nothing's gonna change. It's always gonna be the same. And you just gotta be as cordial as possible, even though that's super hard. In front of those kids, you just gotta be cordial because that's a sticky situation, and you want to make sure that it's sticky for you guys and not for those kids, man, because they have a long life to deal with that, and that can be kind of messy.
No, you're a better person than I am. If that happened
Yeah,
to me,
100%.
for one, she's out. Two, the kids are staying with me. Three, I'm bad mouthing the shit out of both of them. I'll give them I'll give them the chance. I'll be like, "Yo, okay, this is what happened. Your mom cheated on me with my best friend. It's fucked up. I know you don't understand that
Uncle
yet,
Ricky, Uncle Ricky, you guys know Uncle Ricky?
but you'll soon understand that. If you want to stay with me, go ahead. If you want to stay with her, that's your choice. But fuck those two. And if I'm in that situation where I'm like the basketball player making that much money, yeah, I'm manipulative. I'm gonna spoil the hell out of them. Be like, you want to stay here in the mansion, or you want to go over there where they're struggling because she couldn't be faithful and now she's living on the streets. Go for it.
Oh man, look, I mean, without beating a dead horse here, because I do think this is like obviously something that is not talked about a lot. Because obviously, I feel like because we're not celebrities, right? Obviously, maybe one day, you never know. But we're not celebrities, and for some reason in like the famous, when you have that, you're in that circle. I feel like there's a lot of polygamy in that, just to be honest.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
and maybe, I mean, I believe that with a lot of really big athletes right now that I won't name names, but really big athletes right now that I know their wife is seeing other people, just like they're probably swinging around and seeing a shit ton of other women too. But let's think about it like that. Like maybe he was one of the very few people in his whole like friend group that might be pro athletes that isn't polygamous, and he's very faithful and he does this. But maybe like his girl, like she knew all these other people were polygamous. She's like, oh, let me just give it a shot. Let me just give
But
it
they're
a
married.
Shot.
They
That's
should
not
have had that
polygamous,
type
though.
of.
That's just cheating.
They should have
they're
had
not
that
married.
type
That's his
of country.
girlfriend, that's all.
Oh, that's his
his
girlfriend.
Yeah, they're not
Oh.
married.
That's but this.
I'm
Oh,
pretty
okay.
sure.
Okay, well, that's cheating. Polygamous is a mutual agreement
Yeah.
between two people in a relationship. Hey, we're gonna sleep with other people, but at the end of the night we come back to each other. If you just over here like I'm in a polygamous relationship, but my boyfriend is in a monogamous relationship, you just cheating, sweetie. Like you ain't out here in a polygamous relationship. That's wild. But I
Well,
know some
we're
guys out here
naturally
gonna be using that one though.
But Sterling did
We're
put up a
naturally
good
polygamous,
point
though.
of like we don't know how good of a person this guy is either. It could have been that type of
Yeah.
situation where like, he might have been out there cheating too, and it's just that she got pregnant. So
Yeah, I mean that's true too, but it's also the best friend piece.
yeah, the best friend piece
That's
does.
what it
That's
makes
the-
it
that's
real
the-
messy. Like,
That's what makes it
Yeah.
vindictive.
yeah.
And then I'm gonna be vindictive.
So can you ever be friends with that guy again?
No.
No shot. No shot. No shot. In
Honestly,
hell.
it kind of depends on how
Like
long
it's like,
we're
bro,
dating.
you see
though.
my wife, you see my girl's insides. Like you've been
You
inside.
see,
Like not to get
you
graphic.
went inside, bro. You got
Like,
keys,
you've
man.
been
You got keys, bro. You know where the spare keys are under the mat.
Like you got the spare keys and you were able to break into the house. You got there. That's what, like, for me, like it would be like deaded. And I kind of want to back up my statement earlier about like saying like, oh, she's gone type of thing, because I did resonate a little bit with what you were saying, Michael. Where it was like, oh, like, I want to make sure they still have a relationship with their mom because that's still their mom. But I ain't gonna lie to you, like Uncle Ricky or Uncle Bobby, Uncle whatever the fuck his name is, like he ain't gonna be you. Like, I mean, I'd be like, oh, this is your biological dad, bro, but we do not fuck with him. Like, I do not fuck with him. You can fuck with him all you want, but I don't fuck with him. Like, if you guys want to go over to Uncle Bobby's house, guess what? I'll drop you off. And I'll say bye, and I'll be back in 2 hours.
Nah, you
2
gotta
hours. That's all
order
you got.
Uber. Ain't nobody dropping you off over there.
You two are better
Yeah, I don't
people
wanna
than
see
me,
his
man.
face.
Their mom can be my new girlfriend, but fuck her.
I mean, you
but
don't.
without
But I mean, it's also like it's not even our choice. It's got to be like the courts will decide where the kids go at the end of the day. So like,
with Andrew Wiggins, because he's got too much bread not to give the damn kid to him.
I don't
But
know.
he
They
can't be
could
a real father,
probably
but
pull
apparently
the
he is a good-
spiel of because he's an athlete, he's traveling all the time and can't be home with the kids.
So
yeah.
you're gonna make this man? It's a screwed up situation because it's like everybody. Damn, let me not get into my bag too much, but like
Nah, get in your bag.
every woman
Yo,
wants a
whole
man that
foot
makes
in
a lot
that
of money.
bag, yo.
Every woman desires a man that makes a lot of money. That's a fact. I don't know any girl that's like, oh well, like I mean he's super broke and I'm cool with it. Like I want that. Like that's what I'm looking for. Like no,
Yo,
nobody's
but
looking for
Here's
that.
the thing, though. She also makes a lot of money.
Oh, what'd she do?
She had kids with the guy that made a lot of money. So
Exactly.
she's about
She
to get
already
child
won.
support. So
She
she also,
already won.
Andrew Wiggins dropped 20 points. Guess what? She dropped 20 points that night too. From
No,
now
it's
on.
half. She
Yep.
dropped 10.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's half. She
Well-
dropped 10 points.
Well,
So she's just as successful.
the thing is that like I think that she I think if he were to better get the kids and then they would have that, like they wouldn't ask for child, like I don't even think he accepted, but he probably like, oh, give me some child support. But either way, it's like
I would
if
accept
he
it.
got the kids, yeah, if he got the kids and they'd be like, hey, you need to pay this much of child support a month, ma'am. They'd be like, oh, I don't have a job. Well, get one. It's like, but the thing is, her income, she has zero income whatsoever if she's not doing a side hustle, anything. He is all the income. Right now, let me make sure my facts are right here because I want to make sure I'm not skipping a beat here.
Sterling with
He
the
makes
facts.
31 $2.5 million
Scoop.
And guess
a
what?
year.
Whenever she starts getting a job, that's just money that could have been to the kids if they're together. So I still want half.
True.
And so, like I said, without beating a dead horse, I think she's in the wrong. I think he has every right to be as honestly as rude and as as just an asshole to her as he wants to be, just to be 100% honest with you. But if he doesn't do that, which I think he's a good guy from the outside looking in, I don't know if he is or he isn't, but he seems like a good down to earth guy. This probably took a massive toll on him because it is like a personality thing. When you have an ego naturally, you have an ego as a man, especially as a top athlete. You're gonna have an ego when something like this happens to you. But he's probably a better man than me for taking this much time, because I'd be like, nah, fuck this. I'm jumping ship. Best of luck to you, honey, because you ain't gonna see them kids for a minute. You gonna have to take a hiatus, a real hiatus.
I think the
but
biggest
I
takeaway
don't know
from this is that once you make over 6 figures and you start sleeping around with people, hire a good divorce attorney.
Have one on.
Facts.
Have one on deck.
Facts.
on retainer, bro. Have that motherfucker on retainer, because there ain't no reason not to. Do you have any other final thoughts, Mike?
No,
Anything?
no, I think we hit that one
Well,
pretty good.
Awesome. Yeah. So I mean, just without because we don't want to sit here and beat a dead horse to death, but